Welcome back, everyone. Going into the second half here of part two of Drop Frames. Let's talk Pillars of Eternity. What were you
Awesome.
focusing on? Oh, your cat. Okay.
No. Well, it's gonna hurt a little bit saying this. I'm playing Elder Scrolls Online. Felt a little weird too.
We're not going to
Yeah.
talk about Pillars of Eternity. We're going to actually have an intervention here. Why the fuck are you playing Elder Scroll Online? What?
Okay.
Is there a
Okay.
bounty up for it right now? Is it big dollars? Do I need to get into this shit?
Okay. So here's what happened. So, when I first started on Twitch, I had this elaborate subscription system you could do on my website, and thankfully my amazing community was very prolific in using it. We got thousands of subs on PayPal, and what that did is eventually it made it so like when I look at my phone or PayPal, I'd have like hundreds of notifications a day of these small sub things going through. So I went through and I turned off all my notifications, and I did this like 4 years ago, right? So then ESO came out, and I played it for a couple months, and it was okay, not a big deal. And I quit it and thought nothing of it. So a couple days ago, I'm looking through my PayPal, and I noticed there's this weird thing that I have, like this weird charge for $15. And I was like, what the hell? And I go back a month,
Oh,
and I was like, there
God.
it is again. What am I paying ZeniMax for? I've been subbed to ESO for over 3 years.
I've done that before. Look, I was subbed to City of Heroes, I think, for like 2 years when that was a game. It happened to
Yeah.
a bunch of games.
So it gets a little deeper. So a couple nights ago, I'm like, well, oh God, let me cancel this, right? Oh my God. So I go in and I try to cancel it, and it says something, I'm having some weird problems on the website. It's not letting me cancel it. Keeps telling me like, hey, if you want to make this easy, just download the client and cancel from in there. So I was like, oh, fine. So I download the client.
No.
And it downloads this some expansions and stuff that came out. I was like, whatever. So I'm about to delete it, and I fired up, and I was like, well, I don't play ESO, but a lot of people over the years have said that it's gotten better. So let me just take a quick look. I'll just take a quick look. So I fired it up, and I make my character, and I've got like 15 minutes, not a long time. So I start, and I'm in this room, and I'm like, oh, this looks okay, kind of familiar, whatever. And I walk out, and I'm on a ship, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of weird. And then I get up on the deck, and I pan my camera around, and I went, holy shit, I know exactly where I am. I'm at the starting dock in Morrowind, like the town that you start in Morrowind. And I was like, wait a second. So I tabbed out, and I knew there was a Morrowind expansion, but see, I always assumed that it was like after the fall, and it was just a charred wasteland, because Morrowind gets destroyed in the lore. So I'm like, there's no way this is Morrowind. I opened up the map, and I was just like, whoa, what the hell? Like, this is Morrowind.
Yeah.
And then here's where it gets crazy. So I was like, well, nostalgic value. Let me just run around the starting town, and I'll see what's, let me just get a little bit of this. I played Morrowind for 15 minutes last night before I had to go. And here's where it gets crazy. I didn't see a single person.
Is it instanced?
For 15 minutes last night, I was playing Morrowind 2. Like in all of its graphic glory, no other players, just NPCs, and like a little quest at the beginning. And like for 15 minutes, I am like, oh my God, I could play this like a single player Morrowind 2. I could like relive my childhood in the new engine. This is awesome. So I'm just about to log off, and I'm in front of like one of the dungeons that I fought in Morrowind from back in the day. And I'm like, this is so cool. And that's when Kitten Sprinkles ran up and stood next to me.
Oh, old Kitten Sprinkles, the strongest hero in all of Oblivion.
Old Kitten Sprinkles, and instantly everything just evaporated, like instantly. So I mean, I was first thinking like, man, maybe I'll like play this as a single player adventure and explore Morrowind again, and this could be fun. And then like the MMO aspect kind of bled in a little bit, and yeah, I'm kind of like just looking around for fun and stuff. But I will say this, I wasn't aware that they put all of Morrowind in ESO. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Like you open the map, and it is I actually Googled the map. It is the exact map. It is all of Morrowind. Like you run around, it's the same roads, it's the same dungeons. I did not know that they had done that. That's kind of cool. Credit where it's due. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that was
I was pretty
one of the
Exciting.
two things they announced last year at E3 during their conference was probably a Morrowind an expansion to the Elder Scrolls Online.
Well, yeah, I always knew that there was a Morrowind expansion, but I always, for some reason, assumed that it was in line with the lore. So I thought it was the destroyed Morrowind. I thought it was the conquered, like end of Morrowind, like and I didn't really have any interest in that. I would have had a big interest in the earlier one, but yeah, it was totally my fault. But that's needless to say, I may spend a little bit of time in there offline. I don't know if I don't think I'm going to stream it, but just it's there's a lot of nostalgia for old Morrowind players in that game right now.
Huh.
It's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts, and that's my story.
Okay, we were joking about it, but I could see that game ending up on a future bounty board somewhere for Twitch. That's the type of game.
They sponsor streams for sure.
That's the type of game that I could see there for sure. Well, let's talk Pillars of Eternity 2. You started playing it last Friday. I jumped in Saturday, and I'm just gonna say this game is everything that I hate in terms of games, but I've put like 25 hours into it. So I think that there's something going on here that's pretty special. It is a slow game, though, as Admiral Baru is insinuating at the moment. It's definitely not for everyone.
Here.
Yeah.
I'll be here for the next 30 minutes.
What Steve feels like for 90% of our show when me and JP are talking about this.
Pretty much. Yeah. We'll spend a couple minutes on this. But yeah, Ko, I'll let you start because this is kind of your wheelhouse here. I'm more of a visitor, basically.
Oh, my God. Pillars of Divinity 2. I am having so much fun in this game. It is so good, from the full voice acting to the remade mechanics from the ground up to the new ship system to the new multi-class system to like there are few things in Pillars of Divinity 2 that are not changed from Path of Divinity 1. And it's the kind of thing where it's like people have said like, hey, is this as much of a schism between like DOS 1 and DOS 2? I would argue it's more. I've spent 36 hours in it now. I still feel like I barely scratched the surface. I've heard more amazing dialogue and writing in the time that I've done than in most of the games I've played this year. The voice acting is top notch as well.
That's what makes the game, by the way, is the voice acting. It makes it playable for me. The voice acting is the reason I can play this game 100%.
Oh, I have to be blunt. Voice acting is the reason I'm streaming it.
Yeah.
Like if hell, just the amount I've been through so far would have been undoable without voice acting completely. Yep. And even the reading I'm already doing makes my throat hurt. Like I'm doing Saltwater for the first time every day before my stream. And sometimes I have to take breaks to do it because there's been so much reading between PoE 1 and 2. But I got to say, man, like for any deep RPG fans, this is the new standard. There are so many good things in this game for RPG fanatics like myself that are so much fun. There's so many things I could already have done differently. It really you can tell the Fallout New Vegas Obsidian made this game. There are almost always multiple angles to approach things. There are almost always multiple ways to solve quests. There are many that like I didn't even consider until I kind of saw them, and then I was like, "Holy shit, that is way darker than we're gonna do this playthrough." And the amount of items has been fun. The fact that they made unique items actually unique. Like whenever you get a unique item now, you look over it, and 9 out of 10 times you're gonna see something you've never seen on another piece of gear. That is awesome.
That's the second reason I'm playing is because of the loot.
The soulbound weapon system has been expanded, is also incredible. The new slowing down of combat speed. And the adjustable combat speed is pretty fantastic as well. The new overland map system is very entertaining. Like there's just, it's wild. It's wild for me because as a fan of this genre, to see so many changes between 1 and 2 that are positive. A lot of times when games make the next one, they'll take a lot of chances, which is good, but a lot of times they don't always go in the right direction.
Yeah.
But in this one, man, it's been great. And I'm streaming it tomorrow. I'm doing a 100% run. I've already announced, which is going to be 100+ hours. And with the difficulty and everything, it's been really good. Just a joy to play.
Yeah, you've put in what with today probably 40 hours easy.
Just under 40 hours.
What level are you now? Because we were talking about this yesterday on
13,
text.
I think. I got Pelagina for the first time today, and I think we immediately leveled her up to like 13.
Oh, so you can actually get her if she's not in the original place. Okay, that's cool.
I had to go to a different place and do a different thing, but you can still pick her up. Yeah, cool. Thankfully.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm 25 hours in and like just level 8. And I think that might have something to do with my inexperience when it comes to this stuff. Because would you say that the best way to like progress character wise is to just do quests and not just look for fights? Because I just look for fights.
Well, the big thing is, here's the thing. If you look in you're probably sailing around looking for fights and doing fights.
Yeah.
What you're probably not doing is then going to turn in the bounties, because almost every overland fight is a bounty. And every
Oh.
bounty you turn in is going to be a massive amount of XP for your party. So
Okay.
when you eventually get to the cities and areas that you turn in all those, like if you go into your quest inventory, you actually see little bags for heads. And every one of those little bags is like a huge influx of experience to your party when you turn them in. It's just a matter of finding those people and turning them in.
I see. I have not gotten that far, I guess. I'm only in like the first city. So
yeah, you're going to like power level yourself when you start finding that stuff. If you've been doing a lot of overland fights, I got to one bounty person where she had 4 bounties and I had the first 3 already in my inventory. And it was just like, I think it was almost a level and a half.
nice.
Like just,
okay. Jesus. I'll have to do those tomorrow. Or what's tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow for sure.
It's tough though. I gotta say the difficulty of this game, it's not quite as hard as I was expecting, and actually the devs are going to patch it to be a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But even on the current difficulty, like it can be pretty tough. I've had 4 TPKs so far, and I frequently lose people. And this is with the combat on the slowest, with me knowing what abilities do and how they work, understanding the enemies I'm fighting, and I still manage to get myself killed somewhat regularly. At least have people fall down. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun, and I don't have level scaling turned on, which I could have turned on to make it even that much
so
harder.
Dan's playing with that on. I kind of want to turn that on so that it doesn't de-level mobs. Like all mobs that you find, if they're lower than you, it brings them up to your level, just so it's a little bit more, I don't know. I guess maybe fun is the word I want to use, but it might not be the exact word to describe it. Yeah, rewarding.
I mean, when you spend hundreds of hours in it, it's the whole reason I couldn't 100% God of War on the second hardest difficulty. It's not nearly as rewarding unless you're like significantly challenged. And more importantly, when you get bonuses, you want them to feel like they're tangibly making you more powerful. If you're already stomping over enemies, what's the point of getting more power?
Exactly.
Like there's no point. But yeah, that like you tangibly
I
have
lost
that
this
feeling
fight, by the way.
this
That's to show difficulty.
Yeah.
I reloaded that. But then I went back and this person's actually, this is the fight that you didn't do, Co. We were talking we were just talking about how you talked your way out of this. Yeah. I didn't have a druid in my party, so I couldn't talk my way out of this fight, which the more that I played and as I progressed forward in the 20 plus hours that I have, I really feel like I'm just in a D&D campaign. Like I'm just walking around. I already know all the spells because it's not that they're not creative. It's just that the spells in D&D are good. So why would you kind of remake a lot of the stuff that already exists? They just have a different name in here. Grease exists. Fireball, of course, exists in here. There's different variations on it. Chain lightning's in there. A lot of that stuff is very similar. So I can apply what I know from like the D&D world into this, and it's worked for the most part so far.
Hell yeah. Another big thing about this game that they made huge strides in with the second one is the world feels alive.
Yeah.
Like in Elder Scrolls games, people have schedules. When it starts raining, people run for cover. Almost everyone has something to say. There's hints to PoE1 and nods to it just from characters with dialogue all over the place. Again, everything's voice acting, so the immersion is there. Like it's the kind of thing where when I log into this game in the morning, I don't feel like I'm logging into a game to continue on a line. I feel like I'm logging into an MMO world almost, where it's like I can just exist in this world doing whatever I want to do, and whatever direction I go is going to progress somewhere.
Yeah.
And it almost always does. There's always something to do in every area if you just keep looking around, especially like in city zones and stuff.
Yeah, the cities they're kind of too big, and at least are they all as big as Nekataka, the like main? Yeah. Okay, thank God.
Nekataka is like the main city. That's
thank
the capital.
God. They're too fucking big. Like I think I spent at least 10 hours in one city, just like walking around and being like, oh yeah, I'll help this guy. Let's go and talk.
I spent 5 hours this morning in 2 districts.
Yeah.
Of the 5 districts in the city.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
As long as there's fighting to break it up, I'm interested. But if it's like, oh man, this guy needs some food to feed this district, and you got to go talk to Bob up in this other district, and if he gives him some food, then you can go back down there and like, well, I guess this will give me some XP, so I'll do it. But that's where the game kind of loses me, is because that's like the slow factor of the game. But then the second I get into a fight, I'm like, all right, I'm back, we're good. Or then I get like a fucking magical item that has a full story on it. I'm super into that. So,
Hold on. Baru's trying to flag down Zeke.
is he?
Yo, what?
Wrong way.
Oh, what? Leave me here so I can hear. Put your ear over here so I can whisper something.
Wrong way. Okay, there you go.
But hey, anyway, TLDR. We'll go ahead and wrap it up because trust me, and actually, this is my next point. This game's incredible to those who like this kind of thing. But if this isn't your thing, it's another bump on the log. I can tell you as a fan of this game, if you're a fan of DOS2, if you're a fan of PoE1, this game is going to be incredible for you.
Yeah.
But I can tell you on the flip side, if you are not a fan of those games, just like any of those other, just like DOS2 wouldn't, even though it was my game of the year, it's not going to sway you over. It's another CRPG. And even though it's one of the best ever made, in my opinion, then it's going to be another CRPG.
Right.
Yeah.
It's fully released, right?
It is. Yeah.
It is fully released, fully voice acted. Came out yesterday. Actually.
Yep. Yesterday. Yeah.
It seems like something that I would definitely enjoy.
It's pretty good, man. Like it.
I mean, I feel like this is something I could maybe get into is like an off-stream kind of game. I don't think I could stream something like this, but
it's really slow.
It's slow.
like that's from because I play plenty of things offline, so I might actually give this a shot. But
yeah, are you a loot whore?
Streaming?
Would you describe yourself as a loot whore?
Yes.
So this game is really
careful.
that's why I'm like you'll never see me play Divinity 1 or 2. But this game, in terms of the items, like you go into the first dungeon and there's like a yellow item and you're like, oh, what does this thing do? And then there's like a full diagram and it has like unique abilities for that unique item. And then you go into like a second dungeon, you find 2 more. And then you go to like a random island and click on a random encounter kind of, and it just throws a random item at you that could be really good or could be really bad. That happened to me where I got this crazy fucking necklace that Ko got like 30 hours into the game in the first 10, and I was super powerful because of it. And so the idea of like just playing the game specifically for loot, like I'm treating it like I'm playing Path of Exile. I really am. I got tricked into saying this was PoE2 because I'm just walking around and being like, oh, that's a better sword. Those numbers are a little higher. I guess I can go ahead and put this on, and then I do another fight.
It's got a little bit more DPS. I can.
Yeah. I'm enjoying that aspect of it a lot for sure.
And then on top of that, you can enchant everything with even more unique abilities and stuff that you never have, given all the loot that you've collected throughout it's the unique item system is one of the best changes this game has made because it really makes you feel like unique items are artifacts.
Yeah.
Like these are items that were treasured by somebody, and in some cases they will like change the way some classes play. And on top of that, by the way, going to the classes, this game introduced multi-classing from the first one. There's 12 plus classes, and then you can pick a second class to multi-class with, and every single one of those combinations has a name, and then every class has a subclass.
Yep.
Wait, so you have 12 classes that can subclass with another one, and each one of those. Every combination.
55 named classes.
Yeah.
That's pretty legit.
But then here's what's even crazier. Every one of those classes, like when you combine 2, there's like 2 lists of 12. Every one of the original 12 can have up to 3 different subclasses.
Yep.
And one of those subclasses can completely change how that class plays. So like for my class, I am a Shattered Pillar Monk, multi-classed with a Shapeshifter Druid. So I changed the way the monk class works because now I gain their proficiency by attacking instead of defending. And that synergizes with my druid that has all these buffs in shapeshifting form. So basically
That's
I
really
turn into this giant, like pissed off wolf thing that has monk ability. So I have a giant pissed off wolf that can kick people with spinning flying dragon kicks.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And then on the flip side, I'm just a normal wizard. I don't have any subclasses. Like I'm just a wizard without any subclasses because I wanted to be able to do everything. So I'm just a generalist wizard. But I probably spent, I don't know how long you did for comparison, but I think I spent like an hour and a half in character creation because it was click that. Okay, there's about 30 options there. Let's go with that option.
If you look on the Reddit, there are people that bought the game yesterday. They haven't stopped playing it yet. They're still in character creation.
Yeah.
Like there's
it's good,
so
man.
many things you can do, and there's so many different directions you can take it. And some subclasses synergize with others, but don't properly with the other ones. So you have to like test them, and it's big. It's big. And if you're an RPG junkie, if you're an RPG nerd, it's crazy the amount of stuff they let you do in this game.
I do like that there's that kind of level.
It's really cool,
between the classes, because I mean most RPGs, your starter character is just like, this guy's slightly better at this,
right?
But at the end of things, you could go any direction with any of them. Whereas from what you're explaining, each one can they all really do feel unique from the start. They're just not 100%. Slightly better at one thing.
That's absolutely right. And then, of course, on top of all of that customization, after you picked all that, every class has a full tree of skills and passives that you then have to slot into.
I got one question. I got one question here.
Uh-oh.
Is the inventory a nightmare?
The inventory is bottomless. There's no weight. So you can just loot everything in the world and sort it however you want. Yeah. And every character has a private inventory that you can put stuff in or not. It's however you want.
It's pretty good. It's
one of the better inventories for CRPG. Yes.
It's pretty good.
You just go around looting everything. You just take
one thing I hate about some RPGs, they have all these things. You only care like 5.
Yeah, no, that's I would immediately find the mod to fix that.
Baru, but those games are the bane of my existence. Having to choose between loot makes a game unfun for me. Like, especially when it's just normal loot. It's not even special loot. That is one of the worst things an RPG can do, is make you like start stressing over your loot. This game just does away with that. It does away with it.
Hell yeah. Really, I might actually check it out now.
It's good, man.
Good.
Look, as someone who doesn't play these games, bro, it got me. The story is actually really good as well. So like and
the writing is top notch. And you got all the Critical Role guys doing the voice acting. So almost every character is really well voiced.
You meet about 30 Matt Mercers throughout 20 hours of
If the whole game was Matt Mercer, I'd be happy. Just
yeah.
Like you could even go to a female and it would be Matt, like, oh, hello everybody, how are you? I'd still love it. I love it.
Nah.
I'd be like, oh, it's Martina. That's great.
I got enough of him in Persona. I got enough. I hated Persona made me hate Matt Mercer's voice because I hated Yusuke. I hated Yusuke. He was the only person I like left him at like 3rd level of like companionship. I never hung out with him because I hated him, and it made me hate Matt Mercer's voice.
Don't do that to Yusuke. Come on.
He just wants to make art.
Just wants to make the best art.
It's probably because I hung around people like that because I did theater and all that kind of stuff. Like, I know Yusuke's. I know lots of them. And sense. I fucking am sick of them. I don't want to hang around them anymore. And like everybody else, I was like level 9 and 10 of companionship throughout the 217 hours. And I left him at 3 because I was just like, fuck him.
He's the first 2 characters you get, Zeke. Well, no, that's not true. He's 2 of the first 3 characters you get. So he's
great. No, and guys, I'm joking. I have nothing against Matt Mercer or his voice. I was making a joke in case you guys are getting fucking like all panties in a bunch.
Yeah, yeah.
The unfollow button, by the way, now is in the top right. If you're looking for it.
Wait, not on this chat. You got to go to.
Not on this. Yeah, dude, go ahead, do it. I dare you.
Oh God. Yeah, by the way, that's a dog that I just picked up. That's Rasper. Have you collected all the dogs and cats, Cal? Or Jesus,
apparently there's hundreds. They're backer pets.
Yeah.
All of the animals you see in the game are backer pets, and there's like hundreds of them all over the game. So, yeah, I know. I haven't even gotten.
Yeah.
No, I'm looking at this inventory screen right now.
I mean, that's just random shit. That's like, hey, I've.
Oh, that's all random shit. Yeah.
Bunch of books, bunch of potions.
But here's the thing. Now, if you look at the
do they have a
left
good like
side of the
sorting
inventory,
system at least?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you look on the
I'll
left
pause
side of the inventory, you see there's like cross swords and a cloak and a breastplate. You just click on one of those and it goes right to it, and then you can sort by weight, value, recent. So you can just sort by the order in which you picked up items, which is super useful when you're looking for stuff. So,
I'm curious because this is actually super cool to me. The spell books that you get, I found. I went into a wizard's building house thing and found a artifact, unique item, whatever the fuck they're called, the yellow book. And it actually has like specific spells that you can't get from choosing spells when you level up. And so it's like unique spells just to that book. So I'm just like, this is pretty cool.
There are many books around the world that offer you unique spells. And what's actually interesting is my favorite spell from PoE1 called Ninagath's Fireball.
Yes, that's what I have. That's in the book. It's good.
A blue fireball that stuns everyone that it hits.
Yep.
When I found that book, I was just like, yes, because you can't skill that. You can't skill that spell up. It does not exist in any class.
It's
but
really
if you
good.
Find the spell book, then you have access to the spell.
Yep.
So it's pretty awesome. And apparently there's many other books like that. And I heard later in the game you can actually craft a spell book.
Really?
So you can actually like pull spell book spells and make your like own, but I haven't gotten to that point yet. I can't confirm it.
Yeah, it seems like one of those games where
then the ship. Oh,
yeah, I played
so
20
much
hours.
fun.
I haven't touched the ship stuff. I watched you yesterday for 5 minutes, and you had like a galleon that had like 8 cannons on it or something, and it was just massive. So there's so much stuff that I haven't even touched. So
we own the high seas now in my game. It's pretty.
Do you really? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have you named any islands yet?
I have 2 rows on each side of 5 double-barreled cannons.
Jesus.
So what I do is I basically just sail right to the ship, and then I turn to the left, and I blast them, and usually that kills them. And if it doesn't, I just turn my fat ass around, and I blast them with the other side.
Oh my god.
And I don't think anyone survived both of those yet.
It's good. Have you named any islands yet?
Oh yeah, like 5.
Okay.
Oh yeah, man. I love doing that guy's quests. You're showing nudity, JP.
Yeah, this place is fucking. Also, I just want to pause this. Hey Zeke, can you? Oh, hold on, me. What is that person's name right there on the bottom right hand corner? Let's just.
Oh, Herwina?
Yeah. Is that an inside joke or am I just immature?
Like, look at Herwina?
Yeah. I mean, she's completely nude. Like, I walked in there and just lost my shit. And I was like, oh, I'm fucking 5 years old. But
no, Herwina is like a go to a role play name generating site and you'll get something like that.
Okay. All right. Anyways, I'm immature is what we just confirmed.
Can you see Herwina in the game?
No, her back's to you.
You can see her other things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not Herwina.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's there actually.
No, there's definitely like a who's on first bit in there.
Yeah. Her story is that she's there to get pregnant. So.
Yeah, she's in the she's in the bathhouse. Yeah, but did you see Herwina? I just told you I did.
Yeah, I saw.
That's interesting in this area.
This area is just weird. She wants to get pregnant, and she's there with another girl and trying to get pregnant. And then there's that old guy who just hits on you, and he wants to show you his balls. And yeah,
what's hilarious is the old slight spoiler. The old guy does his damnedest to show you his junk.
Yeah,
and as you tactfully maneuver your way around that, when you go back and talk to the head guy again, he was like,
"Sorry about that." Yeah.
Yo, I know that old guy wanted you to see his balls, so I went ahead and tripled his fee until next time. We're sorry about that.
Yep.
He does that to everyone.
That's pretty good. Well,
he just asks everybody that walks in, "Hey, man,
apparently
my balls?"
That's what he did. Apparently, yeah.
Pretty much.
Well,
just like real life, right?
Yeah, that's how it goes. I've never been in a bathhouse, but I assume it's very similar to that. Exactly. But yeah, me and Co will probably have more to talk about next week because we'll be probably another 50, 60 hours.
Game, like JP said, all the stuff we've said about the game is already pretty positive, but the main story, especially if you played the first one, like it is good. I'm having a lot of fun kind of feeling my way through it because there's a lot of very interesting things in the main story about religion and like what people think of religion and how they interact with religion and how it affects people and how it should affect people. And there's a lot of depth to it. That's a lot of fun. Especially again, if you play the first one, kind of get all that background, it flows directly into the second one. It makes the first game, which I'd spent 70 hours in, feel like an introduction.
Yeah,
it's kind of wild.
And
so it's good.
The biggest question I get is, can you play this game without playing the first? As someone that hasn't touched the first at all, like it does a pretty good job of letting you know what happened and why, but there's some things that they don't really touch on at all as to why someone is acting this way or why someone's saying what they're saying. Luckily, I have chat to be like, "Hey, chat, what's the deal with this person?" And they'll be like, "Oh, well, in PoE1, blah blah blah." But I could see how if you were playing alone and you didn't want to go like look all that stuff up, you might have some issues with it.
They're playing the first directly after the second. I will say this: there are rare times when I'd say that you want to play the first one first, but in this case, if you can, I recommend playing the first one first. There are a lot of things they don't touch in the second that, if you know about it from the first, can make it much more meaningful.
Yeah.
So, and they don't really go into it. We've had that discussion a few times in my stream. If you have the time, I'd recommend doing it, but you don't have to. And the game does a pretty good job of keeping you caught up.
Yeah, it's not the worst in that regard. I'm enjoying it though.
Also, the first is just a great game, for the record. It's a phenomenal game.
And they went back and made it all voice acted, right? They fixed that issue.
No,
with it?
that was DOS. They did that with Divinity Original Sin, the Enhanced Edition. Unfortunately, PoE1 is, I think, what was the percentage that Reddit came up with? Like 9 or 10%. Like, it's unfortunately a really low percentage. A lot of the main quest is voice acted, but it's like that weird half voice acting where like you'll get 3 lines and then like 3 lines of text and then 3 voice acted lines, and it's a little weird, a little jarring. Sometimes.
I'm out. Yeah. A lot of people were asking what game that was. Pillars of Eternity 2. We fumble on the name because there's like 3 different PoE names. So, Pillars of Eternity 2. If you
anyway, that's enough of that. Let's start talking about games these two guys play too.
Yeah.
What? I don't play nothing. I just play me some Slay the Spire.
Yeah, I was about to ask that. I'm looking at your like past games. I think you and Zeke might be best friends because apparently you guys really both like Slay the Spire.
Slay the Spire is so much fun.
How's that going, by the way? There's a new guy or something, right?
Yeah.
I was not playing that while you were talking about Pillars of Eternity, I promise.
It's okay. Look, I understand.
It's totally okay, man. Trust me.
I mean, we can't be mad at you for playing that when Ko is playing ESO during this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like we gave him a 4-minute break. He's like,
Yeah.
I can do a little bit more Morrowind. I got 4 minutes.
Exactly.
Hey, when you have a kid and a puppy, you take every minute you can get.
I get that. Yeah. Zeke's just an addict. That's his excuse. Unless he has a kid and a puppy that we don't know of. Yeah.
He's so weird and dumb. It's just a dumb character in a way. It's just like he has so many different ways that you can build him. And like there was a point where I had 1,000 cards in my deck. You could just do whatever you want with this character. I'm glad the wait was worth it for this guy.
You had 1,000 cards in your deck?
Yes.
Wow.
There's a clip of it somewhere. Basically you could just I spawned 30 cards every turn.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's a little dumb. Someone get the clip. I know one of you have it.
Yeah, so get the clip. I'll show it.
I like how subtle suggestion quickly transitioned to command.
Yeah.
So have you
Get the clip.
have you done all the ascension on this guy yet?
I'm on Ascension 10 right now, and that's where it's starting to really get difficult, mostly because I don't know what it is, but the first area is always Hexaghost as my boss, and I hate that boss because it's dumb. Did you heal before the fight? All right, he does more damage now. Why? Because you healed. It's like I don't understand that whole concept with him. You get punished for doing well. I've never liked that boss, but overall, the character is definitely worth picking the game up again, or if you haven't already. I mean, it's good.
Yeah, it's one of those games.
No, it's fun. Yeah, I'm figuring out all the mechanics now. Like I play it a lot, like in my off time. Like I'll pick it up for an hour here and there, and I've been trying to figure out like what my best strategy for this guy is, and I'm nowhere near like a good card player or a strategician, strategist, whatever. Strategic magician.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at that, and I don't look up strategies or anything like that. So I'm just kind of fucking around and playing with it, but I'm really enjoying it.
Jesus Christ, that discard pile.
Yeah, dude.
That's how many cards I have.
What the fuck? You have 953 armor?
Yes. Because what I have right now is I have a trinket that makes it so if I have over 15 armor, I carry that into the next turn. So I only lose 15 every turn. But because I'm generating like 300 a turn, I can't die. Period. I am immortal. I could have ended this fight.
Essentially.
I did break the game. I just wanted to see what would, because like the game always caps out at 999. Like you can have 999 strength, 999 armor. So I was like, can I go over 1,000 cards? Can I do that, or is the game gonna break? It didn't break. Maybe at some point I'll just see how high that discard pile goes. Just
what the fuck?
What is giving you this card draw?
Okay, so he's got a lot of unique powers that completely change up the way that he plays. He has what's called creative AI. And what that does is every turn you get a power. Creative AI is a power. You get a creative AI into a creative AI into more powers, and it just starts stacking on top of each other to where you're drawing so many powers over and over again. And you've got abilities called like Echo Form, where it makes the first card that you play, no matter what it is, it'll do it twice.
I just realized
So
we've been watching the same
that.
clip on repeat for about 2 minutes. So I'm going to go back to the gameplay now. I apologize. Go ahead,
I'll be honest, you couldn't honestly tell the difference.
No, I was kind of like, why does he just keep drawing from? He's just showing the discard pile and scrolling up. Oh,
I've never played Slay the Spire, so I was like, this is probably some advanced technique that I've not seen before.
Co, I definitely recommend that you play this. Like each character, it's got their own unique play styles. The defect specifically, you'll see that he's got a bunch of orbs around him. The way that it works is like he plays a card that channels an orb, and that orb has a passive effect. So like the lightning will do damage to anything around it. The frost orbs will give him armor at the end of his turn. There's a plasma which gives him energy, and then what you can do is you can evoke those orbs, you can consume them, and basically get a larger passive effect is the best way to put it. So like let's say you evoke the lightning orb, instead of doing 4 damage, it's going to do like 9 damage, and instead of giving you 3 block, it's going to give you like 7 block and things like that. And there's a whole bunch of different orbs and stuff. There's darkness orbs that get stronger, so the longer you wait to evoke them, the better they are, but they don't do anything passively. It's good.
Huh.
You got to give that a shot, because I mean, I would say this is like relatively close to like the full release, because it's still technically a beta.
Right.
The third character was supposed to come with the full launch. So with him being in this state, it's about as close to full launch as you're going to probably get, maybe a couple more patches. So you should try it out, Ko, if you can ever get away from Pillars of Eternity.
Yeah,
I know, right? Well, it's funny because every time I've seen you play this game, Richard Hammer play this game, I think Cobalt was doing for a while, Zeke I've seen play it. Like it looks definitely like a very cool game, but funny enough, I was waiting for release, just like you were saying. So yeah, could be a good time to jump in. That's
well,
cool.
And they're starting to fill in like the shit they haven't, like just basic asset stuff. Like you'll still find cards in the deck that say like it's just the artwork just says beta like across it, because the artwork's not finished for the card yet.
Nice.
So, yeah, and if you actually like, if you look at some of the cards, you'll notice that some of them are like very well detailed. Like Defragment looks finished, but Heatsink just looks like a bunch of watercolor mess. That's because they have they have a lot of placeholder art. Although some of I gotta say, I like some of the placeholder art that they have. The creative AI is just the fucking we smart. It's the robot just tapping his head. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Yeah, Ko is someone that probably
there it is. Hey.
Nice. Yeah, as someone that's not really into card games, I played this game a lot off stream. It's so easy to, and I think Zeke can attest to this because he does it a lot, and probably Brew as well. It's so easy just to jump into it and just be like, all right, here's a quick like 10 minute. Oh fuck, I'm dead. Anyways, let's close that game. Like it's really easy to do that, and I keep going back to it. Like I'll close it in 30 minutes later. Like
yeah, it doesn't like. I'm not much of like a card game player. It doesn't really like. It's a card game, but it doesn't feel like one. If that, I guess, kind of makes sense. It doesn't.
It does, yeah. You're not playing against actual people, so if you lose, it's like, it's weird to say, but you don't get angry at it. At least I don't get as angry as I do when I play this compared to like Hearthstone, because I'm not playing against a person.
Also,
I know. Go ahead.
This game's like Hand of Fate, where it's like it's a game that has cards as a mechanic, but there's much more than the card mechanic. Like, and I see that in Slay the Spire for sure.
Yeah,
like there's it almost looks like a combination of like almost like an FTL-ish game with like cards as the randomization, and then you have the class selection. I mean, it looks pretty deep. Honestly, that's one of the reasons I haven't touched it yet, is because I've known just from watching you and Hammer and all you guys, it looks like a pretty deep game. This looks like the kind of game you got to play for a few hours to kind of get your head wrapped around it. I mean, we look at the top of the screen right here and we see all those different items. And you have to think to yourself, eventually you want to know what all those do and what it means and how it all synergizes. And it's deep. It's deep. So yeah,
I would say
when I play it, I'm going to want like
what Isaac is
to dive in.
Yeah, it's
I mean, you know what Isaac is. It's got a bunch of items, so it's kind of similar. And like someone in the chat kind of said, the reason it kind of feels like different, it's a little bit different because you're not playing against cards.
I was gonna say that exact. Proka in chat says you're not playing against cards. You are playing with cards.
Yeah, you're playing the cards, but you're not playing against cards. They're not throwing down.
Very good way to put that. I'm glad you brought that up. Zeke, you wanted to jump in there. What when he was scrolling?
No,
through
I just like that I recognize some of the things that he's doing when he was trying to select his relic. I saw that Snecko Eye and I was like, I love the Snecko Eye. He's gonna check and see how many high casting cost cards he has. Oh, he has a lot. He's gonna take that Sneck. He did. Oh, see. I figured that out too. So I'm right there. I love
Snecko. Snecko is Snecko.
It's
my favorite relic.
Honestly, I saw someone on Twitter.
It's a dumb relic.
I saw someone on Twitter yesterday who plays this. They said something to the effect of, I can play this game and I'm really bad at it, and then I go and watch a stream and I just critique the streamer nonstop about all the bad plays that they're doing, and then I go back and do all the same bad plays myself when I play. So if you're going to stream it, I would expect that type of chat for sure. Always bad. Yeah.
They're gonna call you out on your misplays. That's
100%.
It's gonna happen.
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
It's part of the game.
I guess that's with any game like this that's like turn based, and you have the chat can see all of your moves right now, and then it's like you realize if you had done this first, you could have killed it. You didn't have to take that 28 damage, Baru.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do that.
And that quickly follows up with, so does he know how to play, or is he just messing around?
With a kappa at the end of that. That's the next evolution.
Is he trying to show us how not to play? That's okay.
Is this guy new to the game? Has he never? This must be his first run. This is his first time, right? Yeah. Yeah. First
That's
run.
my favorite. That's my favorite.
Yeah, the chat spam of he's not pretending.
Yeah.
That's so, I've always found that funny. Like I just do these really dumb things sometimes. I don't mean to do them, but I just see chat. He's not pretending. He's actually this dumb.
Yeah. Couple minutes on there. Billions. Is that update any good? I know they put one out. What was it?
It adds a couple. It's not the big update that I'm really waiting for. It's just like, hey, it's just added a couple of buildings. Oh. In a nutshell, that's really what they did. It's not really enough to get back in there. I did one stream of it. It's okay, but it's nothing like game changing. I'm still waiting for hopefully new maps. Like that's new maps, new modifiers, things like that. If they can find a way to like add that in, that'd be great, because adding new buildings that are end game buildings doesn't really change up the way that you play, because you're not going to be able to get to those buildings anyway until super late into the game. And at that point, you're still playing it the same way. So I'm waiting for new units, so I have an actual different way I want to upgrade my towns and position and clear out the map, and new modifiers, new infected, instead of having just the same common zombie, spitter, harpy, and that's it.
Well, and we have like first of all, it's still EA, right?
It's still early access, yes.
Cool. And
It's
we
not
have like
done
a
yet.
full single player campaign and like all sorts of stuff coming down the pipeline, right?
That's their next. That's the next big update that they're going to be doing. They've been working on that since it went into early access.
Cool.
So
Okay.
there's been a couple of like quality of life improvements. Like if you see here, like we're on a grid right now. All the textures aren't like popping up. You can actually switch between the two, so that way you can actually see like what squares you can actually work with instead of having to second get, because you play They Are Billions. You're trying to build against this cliff face, but you can't actually see behind it. So you're like,
Yeah.
that looks good.
And then 5 minutes later,
That
some
almost
zombie
screwed
just
me
like
in that
walks
map.
right by.
Yeah, dude. I actually got a map that I was like fully surrounded by mountains, and that almost screwed me because there was like a good 20 minutes that I was focused on this little path, and I was like, "Is there a path through there? Like I can't tell. Do I need to guard? Like I kept building buildings just to
Can
see
they
if
fit through that?
Honestly, I'm
Exactly,
watching
yeah.
this and I'm thinking back to when I played it, and I'm just slowly getting up more and more upset by the second as I watch this game.
Why?
I did not. I enjoyed it, but it's just like this game tilted me real quick for sure.
This game was like super tilting. Did you
Yeah.
play the last map?
No, I never got. I got to the second map, and I was like, you know what? I'm good. I'm done. I'm good.
The fourth map is the most tilted I think I've ever been.
Was that the desert?
That's the desert.
Yeah.
That's map 4, 500%. I think actually the first time I was on drop frames.
Might have
No,
been.
no, that was before.
I
No,
think
it wasn't.
right before this game.
No,
dropped.
it was before this game dropped.
That makes sense.
But
Like right before it. Yeah.
it is the most infuriating thing. I don't think I've ever been as tilted on stream before as I have when I played that difficulty. It's
Yeah.
just so brutal.
I would have kept going, but it was the time where you and Richard Hammer had already done like a bunch of map 4 stuff, and so everyone else knows what's going on, but I don't. And so the game not only frustrated me, but chat also frustrated me very quickly. And I was like, I'm good. I'm done. I don't need to play this for sure. And I backed out. But maybe I'll give it another go when it fully releases. We'll see.
I plan on returning to this game when the single player comes out. I want to see how they're going to do it.
Once the single player comes out, I'm definitely back in it as well.
Yeah, man.
That's really what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
Is the single player.
Yeah, I think I'd be more interested in that. This and Frostpunk. I don't like the idea of just like the goal is to last to the very end, and then like a giant wave of the game comes at you and you have to survive. Like, I'm not interested in playing that. That's not a good solution for me, or a good end game, I guess, for me to be interested in.
I can understand that.
Yeah, because it's like keep trying until like you have to fail before you know what to do, in a sense. Unless you just kind of like look
I
into
had
it.
the same thing. I had the same thing with Frostpunk. Like I failed horribly the first couple of times. It was just like everything is terrible.
Right.
And then like once you know what you're doing, it was just like hardest difficulty became a breeze in Frostpunk. In fact, I feel kind of bad about Frostpunk because it doesn't really have much randomness to it. All the events are the same. They give you the same rewards and all that. So once you've played it through the first time, it doesn't matter if you increase your difficulty. It's like
Still the same path.
You still kind of know what's going on.
That makes sense.
You don't got to show this like terrible micromanagement of them breaking through my shit.
Yeah,
you
I
don't
was just
got it,
sitting there, I was
dude.
like, this isn't
Let's
looking
just
so good
sit
for you,
back.
is
Let's
it,
go and
bud?
turn the audio up and just hear some cursing real quick.
But
No,
now
I'm
it's
good.
definitely a good time to build a power plant. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm building that power plant.
I see. Well, that's They Are Billions update is out. Is that still, what is that, $20 on Steam? I think it was pretty cheap if I remember.
It was cheap. I think it was like 15 actually. I don't know what it is right now.
$24.99, so $25.
Damn, do we really only have 7 minutes left?
We do, yeah.
Man, that
We're
flew by.
done?
We're not. We
Yeah,
got
this-
we got
this
5
feel like
minutes.
quick.
We got 5 minutes. That's what happens when you talk about God of War spoilers and you start 15 minutes late. So,
Pretty much.
Zeke, I know it's Indie Week. We talked about this already. But is there like a highlight thus far, being halfway through Indie Week, that you want to bring up?
Let me
talk
see.
about in full next week. Because how many games have you played already? That's probably a better question. Are you just like turning through Steam?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Jesus Christ.
13. Yeah, I think only. Hold on. Oh, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, 19 of them.
This is 4 days, 3 days?
19 games, 3 days.
Jesus Christ.
Well, here's the thing, though.
Damn,
Sometimes the game doesn't work, or sometimes it fucking sucks ass, or sometimes I don't want to play it.
Yeah.
So it's like 2 minutes to like 15 minutes for that game, and I'm just like, nah, next. Some of them, like, let me just what was the one? The Lonely Gorilla. The Lonely Gorilla.
What?
Was totally, it was just broken. The game was broken. It didn't work. I played that for
just
11
like a
minutes.
Harambe meme game? Or like, what are you doing the low?
No, it's supposed to be like you're a gorilla. You have to like build up your. Well, you know what? Why don't I just read you? Don't buy this game. Do not. Do not buy this game.
Show it.
This
Instead,
game is not only in early access. Not only is it $9.
We're just going to show this game. Keep talking.
But it's lead your troop as a silverback gorilla raising a family in the harsh African natural environment. Compete with rivals and defend against predators while avoiding poachers. None of that happens because the game doesn't work. This game is called Mother Simulator.
Yeah.
And this game is actually pretty fucking fun.
There's a live feed into Dodger and Strippin's household right now.
Honestly, it would be great if this. I mean, this is another like job simulator. It plays a lot like that. You are a mother and you have to. I know. Okay, let me explain. You're a mother
really
and
a shitting meter. Like,
let me explain.
You did play South Park, right?
Let me get this out here. Okay, it starts off easy. First things first, you give the baby a pacifier and he changes his diaper. And then the levels get more and more complicated. It was actually quite a lot of fun. Kind of like Job Simulator, where you just get more tasks as like the levels go on and they get harder and harder. This particular one took me a little bit because you have to do like you have a time limit on every level. If you drop the bottle on the floor, you got to wash it off again. So you got to restart. I dropped the bottle on the floor and it gets dirty. You have to wash it off so the baby doesn't get like a dirty bottle. So this one is one of the, like, I think level 5 or 6 or something, where the entire floor of the house is covered in ice. So you're slipping all around everything. Not only that, but you have diarrhea. So you have to take care of the child while having diarrhea, which honestly sounds like being a parent. You know, it's like the baby doesn't stop, needing you just because you're sick and you have to poop. So you have to take care of that. And you have to wash off his binky. Give him his binky. Because the baby, you can read the baby's thoughts. And the baby thinks about a binky and means you have to give him the binky.
I see.
Thinks about a baba, you have to give him the baba. He thinks his diaper's dirty, you have to change his diaper, so on and so forth.
What's the name of this game again?
Mother Simulator.
Okay, I'm going to gift it to Strippin and make him play it on stream.
Honestly, I played it for about an hour and it was super fun. It's just
you just made that shot. That was great.
Nice.
That gives you that's like the time like bonus is the best time bonus you can get is nailing a fucking diaper shot from downtown. Like that's the best way to complete levels is like aiming that diaper into the fucking hamper through the hoop to get a time bonus. But I mean, honestly, it is super fun for an hour. Like it's like Job Simulator, but with a baby.
Are there sound effects for this part?
Nope. Oh yes. Okay. Wait. Yes, there is.
Oh god.
It's a crowd of people going, oh no, oh, because here's the thing. Very wisely, very wisely, what they did is you are competing on. I think you're competing on like a game show. And the baby is robotic. It's not a real baby.
Nice.
That's one of the first things they tell you. is like not a real baby. So if you pick it up and drop it or throw it or whatever, it's a robot. So no big deal. You know, this is just like a game show, which I think is like fucking genius, of course. Yeah, see, the baby wants a bottle. So you have to do these 3 things. You have to clean off the bottle, clean off the nipple, put the formula into the bottle, fill it up with water, cap it, give it to the baby. So there's a lot of like, you know, steps in all this shit. And I mean, it's hilarious. It was a hoot to play for sure.
Well, I can't think of a better game to end the episode with than
You're gonna end it on that?
Yeah.
It's still an early access. No.
At least a little stain on the wall when you throw it. Oh, that's nasty.
Yep, a little pee-pee stain. Two things before we leave this game.
Sure.
One, it's still in early access, which whatever. Okay. But biggest point, $2. The game's $2.
That's pretty good for $2.
It's not bad.
Yeah. It's $1.99, and I had a hoot playing it for an hour. So
I'll get it for stripping and Dodger. I'll
$2 for an hour of entertainment. That's a lot better deal you're gonna find these days than a lot of other things.
Yeah,
for sure.
Man.
The funny thing is, about I don't know how long ago, but on a different Indie Sunday, there was a game that I reviewed or showed you guys called Irony of Nightmare, and it takes place in this house. It's Christmas time. Dudes like pop up, like there's jump scares and shit. And it's really really creepy. Made by the same guys.
Nice.
Made by the same studio that did Irony of Nightmare.
Man, look,
and that's a $1.
You make what you know. Okay, I'm sure one of them has some
Step Hair Studio, by the way.
As a new wife. Yeah, with a new kid. So they're making what they know. Yeah. Anyways, let's do some shout outs and call it a show. Brew, thanks so much for coming on. I announced during the break. We'll see you again during the E3 coverage that we're going to be doing. You'll be joining us for that. You get to pick your panels this year, so you let me know. I sent you all that information.
Baru might be here for his live Borderlands 3 announcement.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I'm just gonna say it now. If I'm here and they officially announce Borderlands 3, you might as well just take your headphones off. I'm just gonna be going.
That's what I want. That's what I want. We hope you join us for whichever. Probably you said it's probably Microsoft. So do some shout outs.
I think it's Microsoft.
Okay.
I might as well just be here on all of them just to make sure.
I was gonna say you better be careful. You better be here for everything just in case.
Yeah.
CD Projekt Red is like, and we're here to announce Cyber. Just kidding, Borderlands 3.
Yeah, it might show up on Square Enix. You never know. Kingdom Hearts is a big, wonderful world and universe. Borderlands might show up. Do some shout outs, Brew. Thanks for being on the show. The guy with the panda emotes.
That's me. Wrong way. That's me right there. Guy with the panda emotes. Thanks for having me, JP. It's been awesome. Rusip. That's all I gotta say.
Easy peasy. Mr. Co-Carnage, some shout outs.
Absolutely. Well, as always, big thank you to Zeke and JP and a huge thank you to Baru. This has been one of the shows that has passed faster than I even realized. There's a lot of shows that frankly just kind of drag on, and I'm like, God, will this ever end? But this show was really just like, wow, it was great. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching today. My name is Ko. You can find me streaming every day at 8 a.m. Going to be playing a lot of Pillars of Eternity 2, also some BattleTech, maybe some other fun stuff coming up here. And yeah, thank you for watching today, and see you next week. And again, a big thank you to JP, Zeke, and Baru. Awesome.
Thanks for being here. You reminded me, I did a sponsored stream for Honor last week. I need to talk about that next week because I have some thoughts. And that's what I'll leave you guys with. Zeke, do some shout outs.
Hey, I'm Zeke. Thanks for watching. Follow me on everything. Barverona's coming up. Nice. That's all I got.
Good job. I like it. Well done. Well done. Yeah, I should have said like 3:10 because like even the cast is in Slack right now. There's like, is he gonna send us that call invite or like what? What are they? Why is the show not? Anyways, I gotta get out here so we can start the show.
Do you start the show like? Are you supposed to start it like on this hour?
About 3 minutes ago.
Seriously, you butted it up like that? You butted it up right against Rob Frames?
Why would I? Yeah, let me end the stream for an hour with 13,000 viewers, and then just have all those people leave, and then we'll start it up in an hour and start from zero.
Hey JP, I do that every day when I take lunch.
Man, you guys are just not smart.
Smart. Gotcha.
Why do you think we did the spoiler cast at the beginning and not at the end? Because I wanted to have as many people going into the show. That's just how it goes.
No, before we go, I have just a very short dissertation on War and Peace.
Go and read it.
Yeah,
we've got the time. We've got the time.
What are your thoughts on Sun Tzu's war?
That's not
The Art of War.
The Art of War. That's
Art
it.
of War. Let's just go over each chapter.
Yeah.
And maybe we can talk about your thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like you're not going to bullshit for half an hour before you even get to the role playing.
Right. No, we're just going to cut that out. Yeah. We'll just cut that out this week. Anyways, that's it for Drop Frames. Thanks, everyone, so much for watching Brew. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you again for the E3 stuff.
Yep. Thanks for having me, man.
Dodger
I'm looking forward to E3 this year.
It's going to be fun. Dodger's going to be joining us for that coverage, as well as everyone's favorite Rami will be jumping in. And that's 5 at least. We'll probably have some more people jump in for some of the other panels. But anyways, we got to get out of here so that the roleplay fans calm the fuck down. We'll see you guys next week for more Drop Frames. Bye-bye. Have a good week.
Bye.